And let's see how it goes. And gave him the stomp lemon. We're good. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Gonna try to avoid the shop tomorrow. Not for a bad reason. The shop is having a, or not the shop, but the mall. Tomorrow's having Kids Day, and Aaron owes me a shift.
Yeah, I only work every third Saturday, but I have to work tomorrow. So it's not that at the mall, though, so it will be fine.
Let me find. There's one other thing that I need to have open. This thing over here. That's kind of relevant. I don't need this up. And this will be the Facebook chat. I have Facebook chat over here on my left. And scoreboard and everything on the right. And let's get their timer started because that'd be important. And we haven't streamed FNM in a while, and I know I said about the light being dark in here, but then I remembered we don't have a face cam tonight, so that's not very important.
I thought that it was weird that you told me that we weren't going to be on camera, and then that we needed light.
Yeah, I realized that after I'd mentioned that. My bad. But you know, we come back into this. Shane, it looks like he's mulliganing. Maybe. What are you doing, Shane?
Yeah, he mulliganed.
Okay.
Mike kept his 7, I believe.
All right, got it. Now we're up to date, up to speed.
I feel like Tron, correct me if I'm wrong, because I have never played Tron, but I feel like it would have a hard time mulliganing too much.
Yeah, but look at this hand. He's got the power plant. He's literally got everything he wants, and it's the best multi-5 you could get. He had power plant, mine, ancient stirrings, Karn. And other card that I don't know. And he just found Sylvan Scrying. He has 2 Sylvan Scryings, 2 different Tron pieces, and a Karn. So mulliganing's not great, but as long as you can find like your last land, it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, again, depending what kind of opening that Mike could have with Elves, could get pretty big pretty quick on Mike's side. To where Shane has to have just like a turn 4 Ugin or Oblivion Stone to be able to come back.
It looked, if I saw the art right, it looked like he put an Ugin to the bottom.
I thought he put a second Karn to the bottom.
It may have been.
We know it was a Planeswalker.
Yeah.
I thought it was a second Karn.
That's entirely possible.
And he's going to cast Lead the Stampede, revealing Heritage Druid, Shaman of the Pack. I didn't see the other 2. Lawn Werewolves and Nettle Sentinel. So, not bad. Pay 3 mana, draw 4. Discarding a Collected Company, you know something wild's happening if that's what he's doing. And let's see. He picked up Dwinnen's Elite, which means he could go Heritage Druid into Nettle Sentinel, tap for 3 mana, play Dwinnen's Elite, untap the Nettle Sentinel, tap for 4 mana, cast a Company off of it. Anything like that, which
that's pretty crazy.
Theoretically, yeah, like I don't know everything in Mike's hand, but since he's so far ahead of Shane, since Shane started on 5, he honestly should probably just go for the kill as quick as he can.
Yes.
Alright, so we have... Alright, Heritage Druid into Nettle Sentinel. Go for it. Do you have another Lead the Stampede in hand? Empty your hand. Force him to have something.
Yeah, he really just needs to go for it.
And this could spell disaster, because Shane just picked up a Sphere. I don't know if I like cracking it right now for the Ancient String, because it doesn't guarantee your last Tron piece. Where if you wait until next turn, it guarantees that you're going to find the last Tron piece. Well, he finds it. So... must be nice.
I guess he
yeah,
lucked
like,
out on that one.
All right, I guess we're good.
Sometimes things just happen, though.
Yeah,
and
if he didn't find it, he probably takes I think he probably takes the basic force there.
Yeah, he also, this is one of those things where Shane isn't going to have all the math kind of built in yet, because he's only been playing this deck for a few weeks, and it can take a long time to kind of get really comfortable with a deck and knowing when you should do different things. Just
Mike,
offhand.
untap that Nettle Sentinel. Well, he's going to get Nettle Sentinel, Shaman of the pack. He's going to... Alright, there we go. There's the untap. He's going to drain Shane for 5.
I don't know if the crackling noise is coming through, but
It probably isn't.
I have my son is sitting in the back playing video games, eating snacks.
What a life.
I kind of wish that was my life.
Alright, there we go. There's the lead, the Stampede. Shane also has played, dabbled with Elves a little bit, so he's telling, reminding Mike of the untap your Nettle Sentinels, because those are important. But Mike just got another 3 mana, draw 4 cards.
Ridiculous.
So we know he has another Shaman in hand. He's really close from just emptying his hand, dropping a Shaman, and having lethal through combat. Which that should be... Alright, there's no Sentinel number 3. He has infinite mana, basically. 3 mana. Drop this guy, get 2 guys on tap. 1 mana floating. Sorry, it's an Archdruid.
And Karn at this point is not going to be enough.
Alright, 3 more mana. Archer number 2. Untap. Let's go 3 more mana, I would expect. Just tap the 3 Nettle Sentinels. You know they're going to untap, Mike.
I don't know how much... Do you know how much he's played this deck?
I've never seen him besides
with it
today. I gave it to him today.
Okay, well, that's very reasonable then, that he's also not going to be 100% with his deck.
It's all good. This deck's great. This deck's great.
I really enjoy Elves because I can typically beat it.
Must be nice. Shaman, trigger for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's just going to concede to that.
It is a really powerful deck, though. Really, anything that can just blow out a bunch of stuff onto the battlefield over the course of a turn. I mean, you can essentially go from nothing to an empty hand in a full battlefield just like that. With
one of the best matches I play, like a lot of times are like just situations where you're like, with Elves you have to make the decision. If your opponent doesn't have it, you just win the game on the spot tip sometimes. So like whether it comes from having like Azuri Archer down, if your opponent doesn't have a removal spell, that usually ends the game for you. The one game I played against a person on Jun at a big event, and I emptied my entire hand on turn 2, and was like, probably not the safest bet was it was on Jun, so like he's probably got an answer. But if he doesn't,
Jun always has an answer.
He didn't have the answer though. His answer was an Anger of the Gods, which would be a turn too late, and he went to 3 mana. He went to 3 life on my turn 3. Had to shock in to play Anger, went to 1 life, and I had Shaman the back to follow up. It was great.
That's awesome. You gotta love when it works out like that.
Yeah, it could have gone way worse.
Not a huge fan of Jund. Not because it's not a good deck, but because it's
not
deck.
Fun to play.
It's not fun to play against because it feels like it just has an answer to every angle.
I mean, that's what the deck's. I mean, that's what it's meant to do, though.
Yeah.
So. Which we'll probably have Jund on camera at least one time tonight. We have
there's several Jund players.
3 people downstairs, I think, playing.
Is Brain playing?
Brain's either playing Jund or Grixis Shadow. Could play Grixis Shadow Knight. Which, you know, honestly, since Jund started coming up in popularity again, like, the Shadow decks have been falling down in popularity.
Yeah.
Because Jund's just naturally good against them all, mostly.
Yeah. Anything where you win with creatures, Jund is generally good against.
Mm-hmm. Though the newer Jund list with 4 Bloodbraid Elves, they have to take out 4 removal spells, so the Elves matchup is actually just better now against it. Not much, it's just, I mean, just a little bit.
What does Elves bring in against Tron? What do you have for Tron?
I have so in the board would be 2 Selfless Spirits for against the Oblivion Stones,
Sure.
and there's one other thing. Oblivion Stones mostly, as well as Phyrexian Revoker, so that you
Makes
can
sense.
respond to like even walking ballista. Because once Tron has once they have Tron assemble, if they just play a walking ballista, you almost can't win with elves. It's
Yeah.
that hard to beat a walking ballista. So like Phyrexian Revoker for like walking ballista or planeswalkers, usually Ugin or an Oblivion Stone, a second Reclamation Sage, and Path to Exile. Path obviously hitting Ulamogs and Worm Coils and any other threats, and they just never come back.
And Worm Coil, you get the worms whenever it dies, correct?
So
Okay.
if you exile with Path, you don't get any tokens.
Yeah, that's what always happened to my World Spine Worms back in Standard. It got exiled with Oblivion Ring every time I played it.
Got it.
That's like the terrible feel bads. You actually get up to the mana to play something like World Spine Worm, just to have it immediately removed in a way that you don't even get its second ability.
Yeah. And it looks like Mike is debating again. It looked like he had a no land hand, or maybe a 1-lander. I should probably give him some pointers and let him know that sometimes 1-land hands are fine to keep with elves.
Yeah, it depends on what you're playing against. I mean, something like Tron, you're probably safer, I would think.
Not necessarily. If like 1 land really restricts on how fast you can be, and a lot of times you just want to be really game 1 at least you just want to be way faster. Game 2 is going to be a little bit slower, but you don't want to get trapped on 1 land and then have your board wiped.
True.
Especially like in this, and like not in any match, but like especially this like Viably after turn 4. Like even the control matchups have Supreme Verdict and stuff, but they have 2, 3 after boarding. Tron still has 2 Ugins typically and probably 4 Oblivion Stones. So that's 6 cards that they could likely have to
Very
wipe
true.
you on that turn. And it looked like Shane just had he had natural Tron in his opening hand. So, you know,
That's why so
with a
many people hate
dismember,
Tron.
with a dismember backup. So if Mike tries to do anything disrespectful here, like, all right, attack for 1.
You got to get in those beats early, like whenever you can, even if it's just for 1. If you have nothing else to do, like
That
it's
1
really
damage can be
best,
relevant
yes,
sometimes
to
too.
just swing it in.
Another card that's surprisingly good here is something that can finish up, because a lot of times on Tron's side, like if they just finish up and play a Worm Coil engine, like you're typically, unless you have Azuri Archer down, can't beat it. Like you're gonna swap out, like hitting them for 1 and they gain 6, so like you really have to have a massive net gain
Yeah.
of damage. It's like Worm Coil is a huge wall, even though it's 1 creature. Westvale Abbey in the deck for elves is also really important. If they, play their Worm Coil and have nothing to follow up on, then usually you have them low enough. Westvale will just finish the job. But also, I see this Ugin in Shane's hand, which
And I
is
thought not see her now.
which is a worst case scenario for Mike. I don't really know how he gets out of this one. Yeah, I don't know how he gets out of this one.
Yeah, I feel like he's done for. So he's got 3 mana.
He's got
Now,
3 mana.
Basically nothing on the board.
Looking at a 4/4 that he can't attack into.
And he doesn't know it yet, but next turn is probably going to be worse.
Yeah, next turn there's going to be an Ugin coming down, -3, and an attack for 4. For Mike, best bet, like best thing you could have drawn there would be like a Phyrexian Revoker and blind name Ugin. Like,
sometimes just throwing the stuff down, because I'll do that with Pithing Needles. Sometimes it's like, sometimes you just need to go for it because that might win you a game.
Yeah. But now Shane's got 10 mana available with
and
yeah, Mike's
well, very reasonable to scoop at this point.
Yeah, Mike saw the writing on the wall. Here we go, back to 20. Let me fix these because we are actually 1-1. I forgot to adjust that. What?
We have comments on Facebook.
Oh, baby. Oh, wow. We do have comments, but it wasn't showing. There we go.
Co-player beat opposing player.
Go Elves. Hey, that's a good one. That's a Elves be my boys. Go no land hand, no guts, all or nothing. No balls.
Maybe you can give me some insight. I know that you like foils as well. I do not understand at all why the original printing of Arbor Elf foil is so expensive.
Why? How much is it?
Last time I looked, they're like $15 a piece.
Really?
Yeah.
I have a playset of them.
I do too. I paid $6 for my playset.
Oh, you don't want to know what I paid for mine.
I mean, I'm pretty happy with $6.
I paid $3. Oh, for the entire playset.
For the entire playset,
I paid $3 each on mine. So
yeah, I paid $1.50.
So
and when I bought mine, they were like $4, and I understand that, but like every printing has the same art. You know, they're not rare, so you don't have the little hologram on the frame.
It probably just comes down to the length of the print run of World Wake.
Yeah.
It's strictly that. Just the print run of World Wake will influence how much a foil is from the set.
Yeah, I can see it being higher. It's just like, I don't understand why it's so high.
That's about it. I didn't know they were that much now. I thought they were still... I thought there were still a few bucks. I picked mine up though. I got mine signed. I picked mine up signed. So
yeah,
they're technically damaged when they get signed. But who did the art for that? Kev Walker? Does that sound right? I have the internet right here in front of me.
Yes, you do.
It's either him or. RK Post, okay. I was gonna say it's either him or like Post or yeah, but it's RK Post who does it. You're just hitting me up with all sorts of foil knowledge tonight. I didn't know foil threads were like $80-90 now.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I try to keep up with stuff, even if it's not stuff that I need. Like I've had my Arbor Elves for a long time, but you know, I'll check randomly at different times, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, why is that so high?
Like, how many printings? They have 3 printings, okay.
And they're all the same art.
All the same art. Yep. $8 to $12. I guess it's because like after Bloodbreaker.
So they've gone back down some.
I mean, if you look at it this way, the weekend after Bloodbraid Elf, like the first weekend of it, they could be played in Modern. The guy won the Cersei game 7 with Ponza, which plays 4 of them.
Yeah.
So like Ponza's gotten a lot of help from him. And also, the 3-mana 5/4 from Dominaria, I'm really excited for because in Modern it can go toe to toe with Tarmogoyf as a 2-drop.
Yeah.
Like immediately, Tarmogoyfs are usually a 3/4, 2/3 to a 3/4 on turn 2 on average. So like that guy's gonna be real sweet. He doesn't die to Bolt, and he doesn't die to a Fatal Push.
Is that a Ratchet Bomb? Is that the promo Ratchet Bomb?
He does die to a Fatal Push, but it has to be Revolted. That is a Ratchet Bomb, and now we're back on this action, and we have a Ratchet Bomb on Shane's side, and a Lead the Stampede, which is gonna find... Is it 4 creatures? Visionary, Dwinen's Elite, and a something else that I missed. And an attack for 3. Gotta get them beats. Yeah, put them to 16. Show them.
Yeah, it definitely happens from time to time on stream. Like last time Dennis and I were up here, I think half of our stream was probably like random talk about other Magic related stuff.
And then we look back like, oh, what's going on now? Matt, yeah, it is RK Post. We looked it up. I was wrong. Anger the Gods. Yeah, does dodge Anger the Gods. Yeah, I think those are all the relevant ones that it dodges. Bolt, Anger, Unrevolted Fatal Push.
There we got O-Stone.
And, oh.
So he's already wiped with Ratchet Bomb, and now he's got an O-Stone out.
Please have a Rex Sage here. Just like, boom, get that out of here. Although also right now, Mike can't just sit back and do nothing. He has to still be playing stuff. So like, it's probably best for him to not get a basic forest here. Please get a overgrown tomb. Okay, I was worried he was gonna get basic forest and get his cavern ghost quartered.
Is there anything else in Dominaria that you're excited for?
Well, Findhorn or Lawn Worlds is standard again. If only we could have gotten a Findhorn Elf reprint though instead, because then we'd have 3 different 1-drop elves and 1-drop mana producing elves for Modern.
Yeah.
Not that you really want to play all 12 of them in a deck, but the Findhorn Elves artwork from the Vault 20 is just strictly better than any Llanowar Elf and Mystic printing.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan. I know the elves that you have. Those are F&M promos, right? The Llanowar elves.
Those are the gateway promos.
Okay.
The F&M promos are almost identical.
Okay. I'm not a huge fan of that art. I'm creeped out by a lot of old.
I hated it at first until I started using it, and then I've grown to love it.
Okay, that's fair.
Much like old borders, I used to absolutely hate old borders. Like when I first got into Legacy, I had every card in Legacy Elves with new borders that you could get with new borders.
Yeah.
And then the more I appreciate old borders, I now get everything old bordered if I can.
Well, whatever floats your boat.
I see Thought Knot. Oh yeah, he has an O-Stone, but he doesn't have Tron yet, so he still won't turn off from cracking it. So he's still going to take some more damage.
Still at 16, though?
Yeah, that's not where you want him to be at, but like, hey, at least your stuff's still alive.
Yeah.
That's 4 damage. If he has like an Archdruid or something here, I'm gonna guess he probably didn't bring Selfless Spirit in or Path, just because I feel like he'd probably fetch up a Temple Garden by now. Likely. This Azuri could be fine though. Could be really good. Oops. He has an Azuri in hand. I'm also fine if he just plays Azuri and just doesn't attack.
Just go for it, but with...
Does not attack, just leaves everything open. He can regenerate his board in response, or if he doesn't know Heritage, he can regenerate his board in response to Oblivion Stone. And he can regenerate his board in response to Oblivion Stone. So then he still has everything except the Azuri. And if he doesn't hit the 5th land, which it doesn't look like he did, he can't crack it. The other thing here, oh man, no, Dismember gives -5/-5.
Yeah.
Mike can pump in response and make it a 5/5. I was hoping he could dodge the Dismember by pumping in response and is getting a 5/5. Oh, there's land number 5 though.
Wish we had a better look at hands.
But now Shane has to decide what to do, which this actually could. Oh man.
So Mike's got 1 card in hand.
Yeah.
And Shane, does Shane also have?
Shane has like 3 or 4.
Okay, I thought he had more cards, but then I saw the one laying there.
He's activating. This is interesting. I know he doesn't have much time with experience with the deck, so he's pumping his team. And it looks like Shane's debating whether he wants to respond by cracking.
You can pump at instant speed with Azuri, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I like the idea instead. You move to combat. You make... how many lands? He has 6 lands. So he has 5 guys he can viably. Alright, he's responding and cracking. So he has 5 guys he can viably attack with. If you attack with 3 guys instead. Okay. He responded by regenerating his board. If you instead just go to combat, attack with 3 people. Or 2 people. I have to remember this. 3 people. Before damage, you can pump. And then if he cracks in response, then you can regen. And you should be able to regenerate your entire board. If not, you lose 1 guy. Which, not that big a deal. And now Shane has Tron. So he top decked the last piece. Must be nice.
That never happens for me. I can look at my hand and be like, okay, I literally just need an untapped land. And I'll never draw it.
The one of land that won't come in untapped.
Yeah, I am going to try Sheltered Thicket, I think, in my deck.
Okay.
In addition, not swap out other lands, but just play more lands and use Sheltered Thicket in place of my ops.
Got it. Why so?
Because sometimes I just don't get land. So, especially against Jund and stuff, when they kill all my mana-making things.
Makes sense.
So, I'd like to have more lands, but I like being able to draw, like with opt and stuff. So, I'm going to swap out my ops for more.
Okay.
So, I'm going to go up to 22. I was at 18 for a long time, then went to 19, and then I'll be at 22. I think it's worth a try, at least.
Worth a try. It might get a little bit awkward, though. I could see it getting maybe a little awkward. We have Dismember on 1 Heritage Druid into a Karn, which... Let's see what he does with this Karn. So he's going to take it down or up. He's going to take it down, go after probably the other Heritage Druid. I don't know how I feel about that. He's got so much mana available without Heritage Druid, he doesn't need it anymore. And by taking Karn down means that you leave yourself open for him to just
die,
make an attack for... Alright, I'll send 2 my Dwindon's Elite and my token at Karn, kill Karn, hit you for 1. If he takes Karn up, then he has to spend his entire turn to knock it down to 2.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Now the camera's all ruined.
I don't know who did that, but...
I'm going to guess that it was probably Mike, considering the direction that it moved. If we had a leg sticking under the table a little.
There's no leg under the table. They're kind of like...
Okay, then it was
cornered.
probably Shane.
Oh my gosh. The nerve.
Shane, if you listen to this later, how dare you?
The nerve.
At least we can still see everything.
Alright, Karn's dead. I think Mike picked up a collecting company on this draw, which is going to be big. Let's see, I would expect him to fire off this Thought-Knot Seer. I would actually expect him to fire off, yeah, there we go. Fire off this first, because if he finds an Ulamog, he can cast Ulamog. Or a Wormcoil Engine. So like he has 10 mana still open. 10 mana still open, so he can actually fire off a Wormcoil and a Thought-Knot Seer. So I would expect it doesn't matter what you lead with here. It really doesn't. Either way, Mike, whenever that Thought-Knot comes down, is going to want to fire off a company. And is this the last card? Yeah, it's the last card from Shane. It's also possible, just hear me out on this, Mike could, first instinct is always going to be, I want a company. He could let it resolve, though. And he still ends up getting the Lead the Stampede in his hand. So, like, by doing so, there was a lot of upside, could have been a lot of upside there. But that requires him hitting an Arc Druid or an Azuri or something like that.
Yeah.
Where if he instead just goes for the lets him have it, get the lead the Stampede, he's going to get to potentially draw 5, but typically he's going to draw like 3 new cards.
Yeah.
And right now he's just sitting there and can't do anything. Alright, well, now he has an infinite amount of mana.
And nothing to play.
And nothing to do.
What about Love, Wyatt?
I don't even know.
There's a very eclectic blend of music playing in this store a lot of the time.
Earlier, it went from like without a smooth, like no, like just smooth transition was like it was 21 Pilots into My Chemical Romance into 80s. Like didn't skip anywhere, just went from like that into 80s, and I was like, okay. Well,
nope. Well,
that's basically game like. I will say the company, counting the company versus the letting them just have company and getting your lead isn't something that I would expect. You know, I wouldn't expect people to really pick up on that right away. But I do actually think you let them just have company there and
you go for it.
And you go for lead the Stampede on the next turn.
Especially with a deck like Elves. Like Elves, like any kind of combo deck, really. Sometimes you just have to go for it. Because even if you got a slim chance of winning, it might give you the best chance of winning.
Let's see, what did Mike get? Archdruid. That doesn't do much.
And Shane's back up to 18.
Shane is back up to 18 from that
because of the
lifelink.
Wormcoil. Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Shane's back up to 18. He's going to shoot down that Archdruid. He's going to untap. He's probably just going to put a bunch of counters on his...
More mana.
More mana.
Goodness.
So 9, 10... I'd expect him basically just to put like 3 counters on his Ballista. Put 3 more counters, shoot everything down basically, figure out where the 4 is.
He looked right at it and then kept spinning.
I know. Start shooting, attack with everything. Alright, makes sense. Alright, so what you should do is respond and just shoot a Mystic. 2 Mystics. Just one. The one in front of the Thought-Knot Seer.
Yeah.
Then he doesn't get a Thought-Knot Seer, and Mike doesn't get to draw a card. And he wouldn't be able to draw a card. So I'm gonna take note of that one and let both of them know that. But Shane just went to 24 life.
And that's pretty rough.
Yeah.
Good guy Mike playing it out, though.
Redraw. There's a company in hand now, though. And an Archdruid.
I'd say he's probably still screwed.
Alright, so his best bet here. So I watched him put the Revoker in, is to fire off a company and find a Phyrexian Revoker. Because Shane will not, if he says company's good to resolve, he will not get a chance to interact with the Revoker.
Yeah.
Because putting it into play is part of resolution of company, and you name the card as it comes into play. It's not a trigger. It's not when it comes into play, name a card.
I love interactions like that whenever you get, it's like Pithing Needle a fetch. And they're like, oh, I'll fetch and response. Like,
you can't, because...
No, you can't do that.
You have to name it as it enters, not when it enters. Like, not as a... It's kind of like the Sorcerer's Spyglass is also another one.
Yeah.
That you look at their hand as it enters and name a card. So it doesn't enter, then trigger. If they acknowledge the spell resolves, you get to look at their hand and name a card before they get to interact. company. Find the revoker. That's not a revoker. Those aren't revokers. Those aren't revokers.
What's the card on the right?
It looks like a Dominance Elite. Yep.
Okay. Yep, that's what it is.
Alright, I'm going to respond, shoot your entire board. And...
kill you.
You're dead, bud. Almost. Wait. 8. Alright. He can put him to 1. That's what I'm saying here, Matt. That's what I'm saying. The conductor is Matt Moore.
Okay.
Matt Moore. That's what I'm saying. I want the revoke. Well, Mike, you fought the good fight, but could not beat them colorless boys. Unfortunate for my green brethren. But we're gonna take a.
He put up a good fight.
He did put up a good fight. Couple of little things, but yeah, again, it's the first time he's picked up the deck, so it's not that big a deal. But we'll be right back. Hopefully, round 1 will end pretty early. Our feature match still had 14 minutes, and the regular one, yeah, them colorless boys. But our regular round started about 10 minutes before them, so hopefully everyone's done downstairs. So
Yeah.
hopefully
It's got to at least be close.
Yeah, hopefully round 2 will be up real soon. We'll be right back.